Yeah, Mr. Iwale, good evening. Good evening. Let me know if you can hear me. All right. So good evening. If you are just joining, I'm gonna be waiting for, please, if you can hear me, let me know. Uh I'm gonna waiting a little bit for, so good evening. If you are just joining, I'm gonna be waiting for I'm waiting for others a little bit. If you can actually hear me, let me know, okay? All right. So we're just gonna wait a little bit for others to join us before we kick off, okay? Good evening. Amisu Abubakar. Good evening. Good to have you here. I hope okay, you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. We are on live, so sometimes this technology thing, as old man that I am, sometimes this technology thing, you have to you have to be very sure. You can hear me clearly. Thank you for that response. I mean that's so today, um I'll wait a little bit for others to join us before we kick off. We're gonna be doing two-in-one meeting today. We'll be doing two-in-one meeting. And I'm not gonna take too much time. So one of the things we'll be looking at is I want us to quickly look at the weekly markets like we normally do every week. Normally, we used to have these live meetings on every Sundays, but of late, my Sundays have been very, very, very. I've had a lot going on, so I've not been, we've not been having these live weekly meetings. So for some time now, what I've been doing is I'll do a recorded video and I'll put it on YouTube and share it across the groups. And some couple of people they've sent me mails to ask when are we going to do live live meetings like this. So when I'm chance today, I say, okay, let's have it today. And I also want us to look, apart from the live weekly analysis, what I expect the market to do this week. I also want us to look at the psychology of holding your trades. The couple of people in my DM, they'll be asking, how do you normally hold your trades this long? Um, I think it has a lot to do with mindset. Like I always say, if you've been listening to me, that trading is more of a mindset thing. Trading has a lot much more to do with your mindset. Your skills are important though, notwithstanding, but mindset is very key. The way you um perceive and the way you respond to wins and loss. Ehen. That's why a lot of people find it very difficult to be profitable. I've been there and I can tell you for free, it's not an easy route before you get to being profitable. In the real world, in the real world, we have been told that if you lose money, right, it's a bad thing. And in the real world, we believe that when you make money, that's a good thing, and you should be proud of yourself. But with trading, actually, it's totally different. Because in trading, before you make money, most times you have to lose money, or let me say you have drawdowns. You may buy a particular stock or crypto or currency, and is before it comes back up, you are if you have been trading for some time, remember you'll notice that when you first of all enter trades, it goes against you a little bit. uh So, but in the real world, they tell you that when you see such scenario, you should panic. You should panic. But in the trading industry, when you see such scenario, you should what? Calm down. So it's getting to that mindset that trying to change the way you see money and the way you see investment that a lot of us need to go through. I'll tell you for free, it's not easy, you know. And every day, no matter how long you have been trading, we all go through that emotion. uh There's nobody that doesn't go through that emotion. If anybody is telling you that now I don't have an emotional attachment to when I place a trade, that person is lying to you. Except probably you are using Algo to trade. Algo does not use emotions. It just entered, you program it. Like we have been talking about in the group. But anyway, let me shoot. So basically, so I want us to look at the dollar first. We look at the dollar, then we look at couple of currency, and then I'll quickly talk about how can you hold your trade for long. I don't want this class to be too time consuming. I just want to do it, fast, and then we get out of here. So basically, you see that for some time, let's go to the daily time frame. I didn't know I was on the. We notice that we've seen the DXY, which is the dollar index, which is where I always like to start from, has been because I trade a lot of. I like to start from the dollar index because I trade a lot of dollar derivatives like Euro USD, Pounds USD, Bitcoin against the dollars, and so I like to look at what the dollar is doing. So if you notice what the dollar has been doing since January this year, we've been actually literally we've been on the downside, right? We've actually been on the downside, seeing price do this, come down, you know, and it keeps coming down. So one of the things that as a trader that you want to do as you trade, you want to pay attention to patterns, and then you want to pay attention to any currency or any instrument that you are trading. How does it behave? Technically speaking, you see that the dollar has not done uh, something out of the ordinary. Technically speaking, but fundamentally speaking, we know the reason why the dollar has been selling off. Since the new president of the United States was inaugurated, he's been on a spree of talking about tariff, and he's trying to get everybody to make a deal with the United States. All right. So because of that, there's been a lot of uncertainty around the dollar. So we'll be seeing that the dollar has been crashing. But if you also look at the dollar around that last year, around September, August, we actually bottomed out around 100.3. And from there, we went up. And you will see that before we have this crash, before we have this, give me 1 minute, guys. Before we have this move to the downside, this one, before we have this one to the downside, we actually bottom around 100. So what price did now? Price now came down and took out this low. If you're in my class, when we had this class on market structure, I spoke about the fact that what you want to actually see within a structure is actually you want to see price take out the previous low, especially on a higher time frame, as you can see on the daily time frame. I'll see scale down to the weekly time frame, then we'll come back to the 4-hour time frame. So what you will notice that price has actually, is looking like we actually take out this previous low, this major low around September period. All right. So now we have a sweep of this low. Okay, we already have a sweep of this low. So according to market structure, I'm expecting price to do this. We have a break of structure to the upside, which is what price is clearly trying to do right now. We have a break of structure to the upside, and then we'll pull back. All right, we pull back around this zone, probably in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be on our way to the upside. This is technically speaking. All right, but fundamentally also, if you look at what happened yesterday on Friday, on non-farm payroll, we saw that the numbers actually favors the dollars. That's one. Then number two, on Wednesday, we'll be having a rate cut. We are likely to have, we'll be having FOMC meeting, and the Federal Reserve President Jerome Powell has, promised, it's like they are going to keep the rate the way rate is, because of inflation. As he has said that the likelihood of them cutting rate is very, very low. So we are likely to see that, and if they don't cut rates, that means the dollar becomes stronger. All right, that's one. Then thirdly, another reason is because there's a lot of talk between US and China now. They want to resolve the issue of tariff, which is also going to strengthen the dollar. All right. So and based on those facts, this week, if you've been following me in the group, you notice that I've been buying dollar, meaning that I've been selling dollar derivative, Euro USD, pounds USD. Why? Because I'm clearly seeing that we are seeing a bottom around this zone. If you go to the weekly time frame, you will notice that what we have here, according to candlestick pattern, like I mentioned, we already have a sweep of this previous low. All right, there's a sweep of this previous low, and last week we have this candle that is suggesting what is known as an hammer. This candlestick pattern also suggesting what is known as reversal. So we see that price has bottom around this area, around 97.9. All right, and then this week that passed, we pull up a little bit. All right, so I'm looking forward to us having a pullback and adding more position to my buy to my dollar that I'm holding right now. Sorry, to my to buy more dollar and sell off euro. So if you look at euro USD, however, I haven't talked about dollar. You said that euro USD is actually behaving the way we expect it to behave as well. If I go to if I get to the daily time frame on euro USD, you see that we already see that sweep as well. There's a sweep, all right, of this previous high, according to market structure. So we have a sweep. So we have a sweep of this high, all right. So we have something that looks like this, a sweep of that high, and then we are pulling back. All right, just like what the dollar has been doing. So all right, I expect this to keep pushing down to the downside. I'm already holding a position on euro USD, a sell position that I took. I think I shared it in the group, some couple of days ago. That was last week. All right. So if you go to the weekly time frame on euro USD, we see that clearly there's a rejection around 1.15. There's a clear rejection around this zone. We already have a clear rejection around this zone. So price is pulling back on the weekly time frame. Last week on Monday, I posted I think during the week I posted it again, my sell position on euro USD around this zone. And I'm still holding that position. I'm up by around 230 pips. All right, and I'm still holding this position because I expect price to keep pushing further down. As a matter of fact, this week, if I see price come to this zone, I'm going to add into my sell position. All right, till I see price push further down. All right, and that is what I'm looking at this week on Euro USD. All right, and if you look at the pattern of Euro USD, although in the midterm we are bullish. All right, if you look at what Euro USD, I mean, since 2022, we've been bound. We've since we bottom, we've been forming higher low. All right, except in 2020 January when we actually pull back, a great deal. So, but we've been forming higher low. But however, I expect this movement, this swing structure. Please, if you have not seen my basic market structure videos is on YouTube, you can go check for it. I actually talk extensively about market structure. So if you look at this swing structure on the higher time frame, on the weekly time frame, you see that at least I expect price to come into this zone in the nearest future, in the following weeks, as the dollar is becoming stronger. I actually expect price to keep pushing to this side before we probably continue to the upside again. All right. Because it's obvious that, like I said, I feel, not only even feel, you know, based on market structure, number one, the dollar has bottomed out. Number one. Then number two, also based on fundamentals that surround the dollar, the economic news that we are seeing, from NFP. Uh, then we are seeing tariff. Donald Trump is cooling down on tariff. You see, this is where I trade. You have to understand what is going on around you, not only technical. A little bit of fundamentals, doesn't hurt as well. So I strongly believe that the dollar has bottom. As long as we don't take out this low around 97.76, especially on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be very explosive because of rate decision. And I don't expect Jerome Powell has promised, it's looking like the percentage of them cutting rate is very, very low. So I don't see them cutting rate on Wednesday. So I expect this zone to hold. All right. So let's check pounds USD as well. See that pounds USD also is forming the same pattern on the weekly time frame. I think I shared this on the group as well. I'm already holding the position on pounds USD. Let me see if I can go there to the group, see if I can. Yes, I'm holding a position on this, and the position is still running. I'll come back to that anyway, because I don't think you guys will see what I was trying to show you. All right, so for pounds USD, we are clearly looking to the downside as well. So I'm gonna be adding to my position if I see price push back to this zone around 1.34, or I see a break of this counter trend line, this one that I have here. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, if I see price violate this counter trend line, this one I have around there. If I see price do this, if price come down, if I see price do this and do this to the downside, I'll be adding to my sell position. You see that I see price do this and market open in the next couple of hours, or if I see price pull back, I'll be selling more of pounds USD. We'll look at two or more pairs, and then I'll talk about psychology of trading as well. Then we'll call it a day. Now for USD CHF, what you want to do, you want to be smart as a trader, especially if you trade the dollar derivatives like myself. As soon as you see that the dollar is about to turn, you want to check what every other dollar derivatives are doing. For USD CHF, I'm seeing also a bottom. We already see a sweep of this previous low. All right. I'm also seeing a bottom, as you can see, a major bottom. As long as dollar hold that support, price will likely come to this zone and dance around before we break out. So for me, if I see a pullback into this zone, I'll be taking a buy on USD CHF and having my stop loss around this area. All right. Okay, this is actually make me taking a trade. All right. So lastly, let's look at Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin right here. Bitcoin bottom around this zone. I think I added more Bitcoin to my position. I spoke about this last week. I added more Bitcoin to my position, when Bitcoin came to this zone. That was in March. I added more, and it's been pushing to the upside. I expect it to keep pushing to the upside, as long as but I'm not fully bullish on Bitcoin until if I see a breakout of this of price around 109. At least for this cycle low. If price doesn't break this place, we are likely to come and form what is known as structural liquidity around this zone. We have a structural liquidity, and the price continue to the downside before probably we continue to the upside. All right. So my short term position on Bitcoin, the position I took, was for short term. I'm actually trailing it. I'm trailing it so that if there's a major pullback, it takes me out. So until there's a break of structure above this area, if you have a break of structure, a break of this resistance, all right, if there's a break of this resistance, then I know that, okay, probably we are continuing to the upside. So we are likely to probably will break out, retest, and then continue. Break and retest. What is known as break and retest. All right. But for now, uh I'll just be waiting. I'll be sitting on my hands. I'm not adding any new position. The one I took here is enough. So I'll be holding for price. I'll be looking for what price we do around this zone. If we are going to have a breakout or a pullback, that is for BTC. All right, that is for BTC. I haven't said that. Let's look at gold. Gold, actually, I've not been trading gold for some time. If you've been following me, you notice that I've not been taking any gold positions for some time, because gold has really gone bonkers. And then we have this pullback 2 weeks ago on this weekly time frame. You see that a price is now pulling back a little bit, and I'll tell you why that is happening. Now, immediately, Donald Trump started talking about cooling down on tariff on China. A lot of people start selling off their gold. They started, because now they believe the dollar is getting strong. The dollar will get a little bit stronger. So we saw a lot of sell off of gold because of that news. Last week, when Donald Trump, I think 2 weeks ago, when he talked about coming down on the tariff on China, and we going into this new week, there's a lot of positive talk around tariff between US and China, which is pointing to the fact that we are likely to see them come into a deal or an agreement. Why, probably they will reduce tariff on both sides. All right. And because of that, I expect gold to keep pulling back to the downside. That is for gold because of that major news. All right. So a lot of people, because a lot of investors, started jumping out, to buy dollars, to buy Bitcoin, also to buy, probably government treasuries in US, because after this news. Because if you look at it, really, gold has really moved from 2,500 to 3,500. That's a lot of move. If you are trading, if you are using leverage to trade, that's a lot of money to make. I mean, that's well over 1,000 pips from this zone to that zone. All right. So that is talking about gold. I want us to look at UJ lastly on currency. If you have any currency you want me to look at, let me know. I want us to quickly look at USD JPY. See that this USD, I actually missed this particular trade. I think I posted this one in the group as well. This USD JPY that I last week, before this other candle, before this when we had this one, before we had this breakout, I was saying that price should come back, and then I was looking forward to buy, but because I was already in some other positions, I let it run, so I didn't really jump on this trade. So, but then it actually played out the way I expected to play out last week. And also, like I mentioned, as long as the dollar holds its support, you see that we will see that every other dollar derivative, the dollar will be strong against them. As you can see, price is pushing to the upside for euro for USD JPY. We might have a pullback this week, but as long as this low is holding, if I see an opportunity, maybe on one of my accounts, I can jump on a buy. All right. So I haven't said that. Now, if you have been following me, you notice that we've been talking about a bot that we've been using to trade. Especially for me, I've been using the bot and also be using manual trading as well. I've been using both. That bot is working perfectly. It's working very well. If you have not subscribed to that bot, please make sure you do so. It's just $30 per month. And then also we also have our the platform that we have been using with the bot, Axie. If you have not signed up for Axie, Axie has one of the best funding program that I've seen out there, known as the Axie Select. Because what they do is that when you fund your account, you trade your account. After some time, they give you money to trade, meaning that and it's totally different from your normal prop firm that you have out there. That when you put money, once you break any of their rules, you lose your money. With Axie is not like that. You don't lose your money. Any money you put in Axie, um, is your money. You can pull it out anytime you want. But the added advantage that I love that they have is that you can uh trade with their funds when you meet their criteria. At the moment, I have about a couple of accounts on Axie Select that I'm trading. Two of them are qualified for $20,000 funding. If you are in my group, you'll be seeing them. I posted them a couple of times. One is actually on his way to qualify for 100,000, just a little bit more. Their funding is between 5,000 to $1 million. All right. And that's why in the group I've always been talking about, making sure that you work on your skill. We in the trading industry, there's a lot of money out there. People are looking for who to give it to. Okay, Matthew. All right, Matthew, you can chat me on after this meeting. Probably I'll give you you said their contacts. Okay, if you go to their website, you see their contact there is there. But if you can chat me up, maybe I'll link you up with their director in Nigeria. All right. So that is it about Axie. If you're interested in the group, maybe I'll drop the link. All right. So basically, let's talk about the psychology of holding your trades. All right. The number one thing you want to dial down on when it comes to holding trade is your skill set. All right. If you are still not sure of how to of your skill set with trading, holding trade will be very difficult. For you to enter a trade and still hold it, for some time, it will be difficult. And between you and me, I'll be very, very, very factual with you. The best way to trade, is to hold your positions. Day trading is not easy. Day trading is not easy. I've been there. I used to day trade. Almost. You will not sleep. The trading is not for the weak at heart, because you're entering trade, you're coming out, you're entering trade, you're coming out, and then all the money you made in the morning, you lose it in the afternoon, or you lose it in the evening, or all the money you have been making from Monday to Thursday, you now lose everything on Friday. Then the following week you start again. So instead of doing that, why don't you enter a position and hold it? For example, if you notice the pattern, let's look at different pairs. Please follow me. Follow me with attentively, and let me show you what happens on the higher time frame. That's why if you notice that all the analysis I made earlier is just between daily time frame and weekly time frame. Why? Because they are more consistent the way they move. Then maybe once in a while I scale down, when I want to take a position to the 4 hour time frame. All right. The reason is because they are more stable. I don't like even going to check the 1 hour time frame. It stresses me out, honestly. So if you look at this trade, hmm, this chart, you notice that since January on USD JPY, since price came to this point at 158.8, price has not come there, has not gone back there. That is for the last 5 months. So the question is, what if you take a sell position around this zone, and then that is it? You just enter sell and you leave it alone. And then once in a while you check what is going on with the trade. It makes your life easy. You can even do other things. That's why you can say that I can do other things, other businesses. I'm talking about crypto, I'm talking about stocks, I'm doing some other things. even offline. I'm doing other business, real estate, this one, that one, this one. Why? Because I've learned it's not easy. It took me a while to come to this point where I can take a trade and go to bed and allow it to run. If you look at what USDJPY is doing, you see that price, after price, did a sweep of this high, ever since price has not come back here, right? This is see what price has been doing. See what price has been doing. I mean, if you look at this move from here, this is close to, if not 1,000 pips. If you check any pair, except for some pairs I don't trade that, I've looked at their pattern. They don't really move the way they ought to move. They are not consistent. The same thing with Euro USD. Look at Euro USD since January. Same thing. If we scroll back, look at what it did since August 2024. So since August 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Since 6 months. For 6 months straight, from August till January, it actually bottomed in January. Price just keep coming down. And since price did this and took out this a little bit, price didn't come there again. It came down all the way to and bottom out in January. And then the same pattern continues. Look at this. So in January, price did this again. So while you are staying on the 1 hour time frame and you are trying to buy and sell, professional traders and hedge fund managers and people that understand this pattern, because some hedge fund managers lose money, they don't understand this pattern. People that understand this pattern actually just took a buy in January and just leave it. As a matter of fact, they add to more positions. As it's coming down, they're adding more positions because they notice that price has bottomed. So they are not doing day trading, buy and sell. Day trading, I'm doing buy and sell. It's the fastest way to have high blood pressure. Trust me, I've been around guys that trade that way. I literally see a friend of mine with his blood pressure went haywire. The guy almost died. Eh? The guy almost died. And then you will notice that this same pattern is about to replicate itself again. If you look at what we have here, we have a sweep again. And it's about to repeat the same thing, probably in the next 3-4 months. We have price, coming down. And that's why I'm holding a position already on Euro USD. I'm still holding that position. I see that price is likely to come down. Probably to come to this zone. I'm looking at price tapping into this trend line before we do this. All right, that's for Euro USD. Even for pounds USD, same thing. Just take your time and go to the higher time frame. Stop staying on the lower time frame. Go to at least the daily time frame. If you check the weekly time frame, same thing. Go and study. And this is why I always say, if you study hard, you trade easy. See what pounds USD did since January 10. It bottomed and went on the way to the top. So why a lot of retail traders are trying to do buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell? Why are trying to do buy and sell, buy and sell? UK Meadow, you are right. I'll come to that. Why a lot of traders are trying to do buy and sell, buy and sell? If you understand these concepts, this swing trading concept, and trading on the higher time frame, you just take your buy and you go to bed. That's why I always tell people, if you have been losing money, don't be trading everything. Stay with one pair so that you can understand how it behaves. Look at pounds USD. Just take a look. From September 2024, for 5 months to January, it was coming down. January till we are in May, right? Till April, it was going up. 4 months stretch. If I go back, it's the same pattern. Look at it. The same thing every single day. Is the same thing. Just pay attention. Look at it. Look at it again. This one is from July 2023 to October 2023. That's about 4 months. Then he did the same thing again after it has come here. From that October till May, October 2023 to May 2024. That's another 6 months. That's another 6 months. If you go back, same thing. Same thing. Every time. Same thing. Every single time. Every single time. Same thing. Every single time. Same thing. Look at that. So that's why when you ask me, how do you do it? Because I've studied the pattern and I've studied, how price moves. And then one thing that trader does, a lot of brokers, is that immediately you download your MT4 or any platform that you are using to trade. I don't know if you have ever noticed that. If you have ever noticed, if anybody have noticed what I want to talk about, please drop a comment in the comment section on YouTube. That immediately you download your platform, for example, your MT4 onto your system, what you will notice is that the first thing you will see, let's say you open Euro USD after you have downloaded your MT4, the first thing you will see is that you will see yourself on 30 minutes chart. It's deliberate though. Brokers are doing that in deliberate. In fact, there are some brokers, immediately you open your MT4 and you immediately you download your MT4 and you just log in, what you are going to see is 15 minutes time frame. It's 30 minutes time frame. It took me a long time to discover that I can also trade on a higher time frame. I'm talking 5-6 years. I used to be struggling on the lower time frame until I discovered this strategy, and I think I've been teaching it for some time. Some people call it top-down analysis, where you come to the higher time frame to look at a trend. You want to come and look at what is the trend doing on the higher time frame, and then you go to the lower time frame to go and follow trend. You are not trying to chase, you are not trying to do buy and sell on the daily time frame. No. This method, especially if you have been trading for some time, before you can change your mindset, it takes a long time. Trust me, even now, sometimes once in a while, I fall short because for so long I've been trading on the lower time frame. Okay, so you want to, like, for example, somebody is asking, is that how do we know the market has bottom? Well, that has to do with study. I think I'm not going to talk about market bottoming, when how to know. There are chart patterns that you have to look at. There's a video I have out there on market structure. Probably I'll drop it on the group again, Mr. Oyewole Israel. You can go over it. All right. Okay, let's say if you say it took you a while, you are being economical. Yes, I agree with you. It will take a long time. Yes, so and also a long time experience before one can master position. Yes, yes, it does. It does take a while. It does take 5, 6. I've seen especially if you are lucky and you come across somebody that teaches you how to trade like this early when you're just starting out. It's going to help you. And probably you start trading like this. Then you are one of the few people that is very lucky. Because a lot of people, they started trading on the lower time frame. Probably people that are teaching them tell them go to 1 hour, go to 30 minutes, go to 15 minutes. And trust me, if you are trading on those lower time frame, you can never amount to anything in trading. I'm not cursing you. I'm telling you. That's why you see that a lot of traders, they cannot show you 1 year, 2 years trading history. Tell them to show you 1 year trading history. They don't have it. So they fund their account in January. Before the end of February, that's me even being conservative. They have blown that account. They are looking for money to fund another account. So every week they're always looking for money to fund another account. All right. So this strategy that I'm talking about, probably I'll be posting the video on the group. You guys can go over it. It's very simple. It requires a lot of patience, however, before you can take those trades. All right. If I'm sitting on pounds USD right now. Let me see if I can get on my on my live, one of my live account, so I can show you. So somebody say, how do you survive not blowing your account if you trade, leave it to market to come back to you? Well, as long as you, as long as you give me 1 minute, oh. I actually want to share this. I want to share my. All right. So as long as you don't over leverage your account, that's the problem a lot of trader has. They over leverage their account, and no matter what happens, you even if a trade goes against you, even if you take stop loss, you can always trade again. All right. If you don't want to use stop loss, I'll encourage you edge. Edging is also a very good way to trade. You can edge your position. That's what the bot that we are using to trade. That's what the bot does. But if you are trading manually, now if you look at my position, let me. I entered this trade last week for pounds USD. The other account where I have running Euro USD is not on this account. It's on my other account. Maybe I'll go look for it. So notice that since last week, I've been holding this position now. And I have another sell limiter around this area. If price come here, it takes me again. I expect for us to have probably a little pullback to this zone where I'm going to be adding more position. All right. And I'll be having my stop loss. I've not added it. I always like to wait before I add it. Once I see that price is going further down, I'll be adding more stop loss. Now, if you look at what on daily time frame on my MT4, look at what pounds USD has done since January. So this is what I was explaining. Pounds USD has done 1,382 pips going up. So imagine how much pips you can catch if you just hold positions instead of jumping out and coming in, jumping out and coming in. Look at the weekly time frame. You notice that I'm inside already. I'm inside already. I'm waiting. And I'm going to hold this for as long as possible. I hope to add more positions, however, because I enter with small lot size. Because this is the first pullback for the week. So price is still going to dance around this area. And I'll be adding more positions. So once I take a trade like this, I just go to bed. Maybe I'll check my positions probably once or twice before the end of the day. I'll check again. I'll come back and check again. Right? There's nothing that gives you peace of mind more than that. All right. So positioning. So somebody is asking, how do you survive not blowing your account? It's positioning. If you are trading a $1,000 account and you want to enter with one lot size, abba, a lot of people are not patient. Why do you want to trade on a $1,000? Why do you want to enter one lot size on a $1,000? As a matter of fact, it is said that even if you lose 50% of your entry, all right, that and then you are profitable on the other 50%, you will see overall you still be profitable. What I mean is that let's say you take 10 trades and 5 trades are lost, the other 5 trades will still be positive if you know what you're doing. So you want to trade like at least each position that you're entering, probably like 2-3% of your account size. You have to understand position if you want to stay long in this game, and you don't want to be blowing your account every week. All right. Now, when you trade this way, when you swing trade, it kind of puts you in the position. It kind of puts you in you'll be the one in charge, not your emotion. I'm not saying your emotion doesn't bother, doesn't sometimes once in a while. So let me tell you what I do. So when I see that price has bottom or price has top out, like I'm looking at pounds USD this week, that major news. If price doesn't break out from this zone this week, then I'll be entering pounds USD heavily. Okay, in position to my account size. Let's say I have an account size of $20,000. So what I would do is if I see that price, this resistance is holding steady, okay. If I see that this resistance doesn't shake, I'll be adding more positions as we are coming down. If I see a pullback, I'll sell. I'll add more position. All right. Let's say I enter one lot. All right. So what I'm going to do, as soon as I've moved down properly, probably I'll move to this zone. I've done like about, say, about 300, 400 pips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close like half of my position and put down in my account. I'll put down in my pocket and then allow the other half to run. You know that since I've closed half of my position and that one is in my pocket, so even no matter what happened to the other half, I'm not moved. So it does not affect my emotions again. That's how you cut off your emotion from your account. Once you've taken part of your profit out, then the other one, what I will do, I'll just lock it to break even. If it keeps moving further down, let's say I'm on 400 pips and I've taken some out, and I notice that it's doing 600, 700 pips, I'll move my stop loss to around 500 pips. In case price comes there, you should take me out. So that's how you trade without losing sleep. You want to stay with the higher time frame. Is the safest way to trade. That's what I've been looking for. The higher time frame is the safest way to trade. And you can trade like this no matter the amount you are trading. It's about training your mind and having a change of mindset. Even if you are trading $100, put down $100 in the cent account and discipline yourself to trade like this. You are not entering trade every day. You don't enter trade in the morning, enter in the afternoon, enter in the morning, enter. You take a trade, you let it run. You let it run. It's the safest way, the easiest way, the best way to trade. Trust me. All right. So I think I'll be rounding up now. I don't know if you have any question. I think I've answered. I've been Bola. I said, how do you survive not blowing your account? It's simply positioning. If you are trading with 2%, 3% of your account, even if it is stop loss, it can't wipe you out, right? You still enter again if you see another favorable trade setup. You don't want to be jumping, you don't want to be trading like you want to make all the money today. They ask Warren Buffett, they say the Warren Buffett strategy is in fact, if you trade stock, is the easiest strategy out there. Maybe one of the maybe I'll share with the community, but not today. That strategy is so easy that a lot of people find it difficult to comprehend it. And when they ask him, he said, they say, why is that this strategy is very simple, but a lot of people are not implementing it. He said it's because a lot of people want to make money now, fast, fast. He said a lot of people don't like to make money slowly. They like to make money now. They say, and that's why I always say, if you notice in this group, I always say, don't trade with money that you need. Don't trade with immediate money. You don't want to be trading with your money. You want to pay house rent. You say, I have this money. I want to pay house rent. Then you put it in the market. I remember there's this friend of mine back in the days. I'm talking around 2005, 2004. So he no, it was around 2008, 2009, thereabout. So NFP, non-farm payroll, the news we had on Friday used to be a very volatile news back in the days. I mean, you will see one candle like this, 200 pips. Very volatile. So this my friend now went to borrow money. Yeah, he literally went to borrow money because he wanted to trade non-farm payroll. So on Friday, he funded his account. He said, Mama, I must double this. I want to flip this money. Market went down. I have to flip this money. So he put the money in the account. I think about $3,000. If between 2,000 and 3,000, I can't remember the exact amount. So he put the money in the account, and NF news came out. He jumped inside the trade with very high loss size, maybe 2 lots. And guess what happened? Within 5 minutes, his account was flashing him like this. If I've ever had a margin call, you understand what I'm saying? His account was like flashing him like this. Was flashing him. Meaning that he has lost his money and he lost that money. The guy was silent for almost 30 minutes. He doesn't know what to do because he went to borrow that money and eventually he will need to pay it back. So that is the disadvantage of over leveraging your account. You don't want to over leverage your account. All right. You want to enter with a good position because even as we even on higher time frame, sometimes price, you feel that price has bottom, but it does, but price can even take out the bottom and continue, dropping. It happens. So when it happens, you hit your stop loss or you close it manually and then you wait again. I mean, it's what it is. Now, like if you look at pounds USD at this point, around that April, I was telling somebody, they say, this thing is coming out. I say, no, it's not ready yet. I said that price came down, all right, and then took out this eye. All right, took out this eye before we form another eye. If you go to Euro USD, same thing. We had this pullback, and then we have this bullish, crazy bullish engulfing candle. All right. So that is in a nutshell, that is just what I want to share. All right. If you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure you do so. I'll be dropping the and then I have this training on my new course. If you're interested, I think it's just about 70,000-80,000 naira. All right, on market structure. In that video, in that course, I talk about market structure. I spoke about price action. I spoke about liquidity as well. Very balanced training video. I mean, practically everybody that have bought the course, I've said that it's a very good course. All right. So thank you for your time. If you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure you do so. Also like and share, this video. All right. I'll be seeing you guys during the week. All right. Have a beautiful, beautiful trading week. Bye.